Good morning, everybody. My name is Ghassan Saleh from FTA, Federal Tax Authority. I'm proud to be from FTA working. I have my colleagues Satish and Shubanji as well. We participate heavily in developing and digitizing taxation administration in FTA, and we would like to declare the new tax revenue management solution that we have implemented in Federal Tax Authority. We call it Emiratax. This is very important application that will satisfy all taxpayers and make their journey simple enough to pay their liabilities as well as to be satisfied in this journey. Drivers and principles and outcome are the major dimension that we have in such implementation in FTA. We have several business and experience collection information from taxpayers. We consider the taxpayer feedback before we release and develop such a platform. At the same time, technology advancement is what exactly is utilized as an ecosystem in implementation in FTA, utilizing high technology and digitization process as much as possible, utilizing SAP taxation revenue management. Also, leading practices from tax administrator and collecting all best practices worldwide. Satish, do you mind you focus on principles and outcome, please?
Thank you, Ghassan. Pleasure being here. As Ghassan explained, we focused on the 4 key drivers. Of course, the taxpayer experience is critical. We looked into what the other governments are doing from a tax administration standpoint. And also, we looked at what are the latest technologies and innovations that are happening in the tax space. Now, keeping those as the drivers, we looked internally and said, what is it that we want to achieve? We focused on the taxpayer-centric plus other stakeholders who are interacting with the tax administration. We focused on standardization, which is a key principle for us to bring in efficiency. Of course, digitization is a key driving factor for bringing in effectiveness as well as efficiency. As you would have been observing, integration with other systems is absolutely critical. And as the digital agenda of the governments keep improving, integration with the rest of the government ecosystem plays a critical role in bringing a best service from a tax administration standpoint as well. So we've been pretty consistent with that approach. And having that sort of an integrated ecosystem helps in the reuse of the data that's getting created. We will speak about it a little later today. So those were some of the key principles that we had, which led us to get some very critical outcomes. The one principle is about the easierness of using the system. The existing system has brought us to an extent of where we are today, but we have looked at making it a lot more easier than what it exists. Integration with the third parties is one of those areas where you don't have to re-enter some of the content that would exist. Faster, we have standardized the whole process, and that brings in an effective process improvements. It's a lot more clearer. We have provided a lot more instructions on the way you can access a service, reach out to the tax administrations where there are questions, and of course with some strong KPIs that will help you get your responses back. A transparent, one of the key features of the new system is providing a 360-degree view of all your tax affairs, which means that at any given point of time, you would know where your requests are and how soon you can get that service addressed. The next and very important is resilience. Tax administrations goes through a significant amount of change over a period of time. And therefore, the systems that we develop has to be resilient to a constant change in the tax administration and policy-related matters. We have taken all of that into account. Broadly, we have brought in a new services online, plus supplementary services have been enhanced. That amounts to about 119 of them. There has been a bottom-up approach to the whole process re-engineering. 60% of the processes have been re-engineered. 200 to 300 users have been contacted over a period of the last 3 years for us to bring in a process that's going to help them meet their problems as well as address their expectations. 12 plus new integrations plus enhancements to the existing integrations would be the key driving factor for the taxpayers' experience as well. Back to you, Ghassan.
Thank you, Satish. Thank you. I mean, our development of such a mega application, we consider the user journey for the taxpayer. We have more than 3 business experience and technology meeting with several tax agency, as well as very large business to accommodate a solution that satisfies the taxpayer in FTA. This is very important. The platform also can accommodate VAT and excise as well as corporate tax later on.
Okay, so for this matter, Emaara Tax has been accommodated to make all the personas that are there who can use the system holistically. So we are focusing on all the taxable person VAT. For excise tax, we have foreign missions, we have diplomats, we have the services for home builders, warehouse keepers and DZs, legal representatives, mosque builders. So the FTA system, which we now calling as proudly Emaara Tax, is holistically built to accommodate all the personas that were there. Now for us to come to this journey, we have been keeping in contact with all the taxpayers of all these persona groups so that we can accommodate all their key feedbacks in the early time. And we have shown them the system, taken their feedback, incorporated it, and then that's how we came up here. For the major services that we are covering in Emaara Tax, we are covering all the major services from registration throughout all the personas, which is tax agent agencies, the VAT registration, excise registration, warehouse keepers and DZs. Then we go to the refunds of all the services. We have returns, we have payments. For the FTA officers, we are also focusing on the revenue management, which will basically do a major significant impact to the Emaara Tax system. And we are also proudly integrating with the CRM so that all the inquiries and complaints of the taxpayers can be solved efficiently.
Yeah, let me take this floor, Shubhangi. This is reflect the conceptual view for the whole ecosystem that we have in FTA. Government entities integration, we are considering single sign-on integration very soon, utilizing the UAE Pass. At the same time, land department integration, including DET for trade license information, Ministry of Justice as well, and Emirates ID, UAE ICA as well. Now, financial institution also, the system will sophisticatedly support the GIBAN payment with the reference number. We change also the methodology of payment to make it more accurate and more resilient for the taxpayer. Commercial bank integration, majority of the financial institute through UAE Central Bank platform will be connected to FTA UAT so that it will help the taxpayer tomorrow to use something called PGS, which is the direct debit. And also the new FAB Magnati as well, which FTA in the process of finalizing it. We will sustain also the GS1 system and the DTS, including the TRC residency certificate, including the tourist refund system. Satish?
Yes. Thank you, Ghassan. Again, just to give a quick summary, one of the key features is about the 360-degree feedback, 360-degree status report, which provides that sort of a transparency that is needed. We have adopted all the design principles, plus the TEDRA guidelines that have been set up so that the interface is compliant with the rest of the UAE government standards. As Shubhangi mentioned, we have done an extensive integration with the CRM as well, which provides an opportunity for the taxpayers to reach out to the FTA as and when they've got any concerns or a feedback that has to be provided. In terms of, if you could go back to the previous slide, please. Thank you. In terms of integrations, most of the government integrations have taken place with this 12+ integration in addition to the existing. In addition to the new ones, there has been an enhancement to the other integrations as well. As an example, in terms of payments, as Ghassan was highlighting, you would now have reference numbers, which helps in making the payment a lot more effectively and helps in reconciliations. TRN to TRN transfers is something that is going to be a hallmark of this implementation as well. Of course, Ghassan did mention about the CT. There will be an integration with the trade licenses bodies as well, so that there is a seamless exchange of information. Needless to say about the UAE Pass integration, which is going to help in terms of being consistent with the TEDRA requirements. Back to you, Ghassan.
Okay, so for the Emaara Tax enhanced features, we are totally focusing on the exceptional user experience that we will be providing through Emaara Tax. We've actually looked into lots of problems in the critical areas that needed to be revamped, and that's how we have created easy navigation, specialized customer support for Emaara Tax. The new thing which we are bringing in this time along with Emaara Tax is the Emaara Tax mobile application. So now this time, with the mobile application, you'll have real-time notifications, integrated alerts, so that in one step you can access these services and do your all transactions in one go. We're also focusing on the automation and enhanced call center call platform, so that your all inquiries and complaints can be handled efficiently. We have user guides and manuals and service cards provided all through the Emaara Tax, so that wherever you have any issues, anything, you can go back to the user guides, look into the services, go to the flows, and just understand the processes and services very efficiently. We have integrated alerts and notification through the correspondences, which are real-time, which you can, throughout your journey, step by step, you will receive every other notification and correspondences, and the next steps that you need to take.
In addition, if you allow me to speak, add more values here. We have also training videos that will be provided in Arabic and English for the taxpayer. FTA spent good time or massive time in business process re-engineering the whole life cycle for the taxpayer, from registration until refund. Mobile?
So as I mentioned, the mobile application is a new enhancement that we have brought in. So in the mobile application, we will see the services from registration like user profile management. You can do a VAT registration, excise registration. You can amend your registration details. You can print your registration certificates through the mobile application itself. We have the returns, the VAT returns, the voluntary disclosures. We have the home builder refunds also present in the mobile application.
Native mobile application.
In the native mobile application, correct. This is not a web view. This is a native mobile application which will be available on your Apple Store or Play Store for you to download. And then we have provided all the basic payment services like returns, advance payments, your payments for the printed certificates. We have the payments for tax agent agencies. All the registration payments have been covered in the mobile application.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Please feel free for any questions.
Regarding to the mobile application, will it include the whole services available in the website?
Not the entire services. So we have the list of services on the mobile application which are fit for the mobile app, because lots of services are there which are complex from a tax perspective, so that even if we introduce it in the mobile application, it won't help the users to fill it. So we have selected the most used in the specific services catered only for mobile application.
And if I can just add, Shubhangi, to that, the TEDRA required applications and the processes are also covered on the mobile app. So the mobile app is TEDRA compliant in terms of processes.
Correct, that's correct.
I have a question. Now, how the system will reduce the margin of mistakes that taxpayers may make during submitting the file returns and the payments?
Okay, from payment-wise, Amal, we are utilizing something called reference numbers. This will minimize mistakes paying or liability or paying the tax itself. This is number one. Number two, we have too many correspondence enough to educate the taxpayer and make sure that his all correspondence, input and output, is completely registered in his reporting as well, 360 degrees for the taxpayer, including the tax administrator in FTA, to be sure that they are giving the right decision at the right time.
If I can add, Ghassan, to that point, considering there are integrations with other third parties, as much of the data that can be leveraged from the third parties, to that extent you don't have to do a data entry, which means that the whole entry process becomes a lot more simpler for you. So that helps in terms of minimizing.
And another thing to that would be on all the applications that we have catered for Emaara Tax now, the validation that are coming from SAP are very strong. So if you are making any mistake, you will be notified at that point only to rectify it, rather than it taking you to the end and then telling you to rectify all those things.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
In terms of UI UX, I'm sorry. In terms of UI UX, how did you change? I mean, what is the change or the new layout that you're trying to adapt?
Okay, so from the UI UX perspective, the new layout is solely focused on the accessibility areas. It's actually very easy to navigate. The first one is easy navigation. The second one is discoverability. So we have provided the specific services catered under a specific tiles. So it's not that, some services are lying somewhere and you have difficulty
Okay,
finding
Shubhangi.
them.
Thank you, Shubhangi. Thank you.